Please take me away from this.
Please.
Please! Recording
Top to
now,
bottom.
and we can do the countdown. Is everybody ready for the
Yep.
play count?
I'm back
All
at
right.
double. I'm back at
Ready.
0.
All right. 3,
All right.
2, 1, play.
Hello, I'm Ariane Rashad, and I voice way too many characters.
I'm Sydney Page, or a Blue Moon 88, and I voice Sarah.
I am Anthony A-Log Legato. Not only am I an impressionist, but I voice Grounder in this fan film.
I am Landy RS, otherwise known as Max Anderson. I voice Scourge and Sonic.exe for Sonic Villains.
I am Logermeister, birth name Logan. I voice Fleetway Sonic, also known as UK Sonic.
And Gaben, what do you do? Because we kind of skipped over yours.
Oh, hey, I'm Gabriel Andres Calderin. You can call me Gaben. I voice Scratch, the robot chicken.
Yeah, there's the other half.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, there we
And
are.
hello, I'm Steven, hyper voice acting. Even though I wasn't really part of this particular Q&A session, like what's funny is that I actually didn't know we were doing this. Like I checked to see what was going on, but thankfully they said I was fine with it. That I was fine with being here. But I am a part of the Sonic Villains movie as well. I'm voicing Knuckles, both the regular and Boom variants, SBO, Big, and Snivelly.
Very
I should also
We
mention...
voiced the hero.
At least another villain here. Knuckles, though. I'm sorry. We'll have to kick you out here. Security!
Uh-oh. Hey, I should also mention I make the music. I'm making some music for this fan film as well.
Yay.
Yes. Lovely musicians. So I guess I'll talk about the thought process behind making this whole thing. So I was, one night I was writing a scene with the villains at a table, and they were just kind of discussing their plans on how to ambush Sonic and Co. It just wasn't working. For some reason, it just didn't feel like the character dynamics were exactly where I wanted them to be. So I was just kind of stressing out. I was getting fat on potato chips. Nothing was working. I had bags under my eyes for days, and it was just like, okay, Sonic's 29th anniversary is coming up. Maybe I can do something voice actor related, just to kind of test the waters and kind of, in a non-stress environment, kind of understand where these characters are going. And props to Tia Ballard, Rosie. She absolutely nailed that line. And we'll have plenty of time. We'll have plenty of time to sing her praises. We'll have plenty of time to sing her praises in another question. A couple questions coming up.
She's a star, honestly.
The ultimate life form from
but yeah, so
I'm surprised I'm in a project with her. Before going to fun of me.
I hate every last one of you.
Yeah, right. So it was crazy. So, but yeah, so I just kind of wrote a script. I was like, okay, so then maybe this will help kind of clear my mind, clear my writer's brain a little bit. It was supposed to come out on June 23rd of Sonic's 29th, but did not happen that way, because as it turns out, apparently writing a script is really, really difficult, especially if you want it to be good. You go figure. With like 14 characters, and they all have to somehow gel with each other in a way that feels natural to their respective, to what we know about them already, as well as just kind of just naturally for the sake of this fan film. But I think that extra time just absolutely, I'm glad I took that extra time, because it just wouldn't have worked otherwise. I don't know how, if you guys can attest to that, but I'm very happy with how
I've written
turned out.
fanfics.
What about you, Mr. Shadow?
Arian,
Yeah.
I've written many fanfics. Are still in the incomplete phase.
You're cutting out a bit, but I'm understanding what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you're cutting out a bit, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said you've written many fan fictions. This one, it was weird because with villains, it's weird because I want to. It's weird because I wanted this to kind of feel.
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Good. All right. So yeah, what were you saying?
I was about to say I've written many fanfics that are still in the incomplete phases for many years, so I know.
Sorry, I hadn't seen that glove part yet.
You know, to tell you guys the truth,
Oh,
it's
you
just
didn't
my
see
first
that?
time watching this in full, so like, I am just enjoying myself.
Yeah, the whole Bible joke. Comedic inspiration for this thing came out. It was all over the place. I think by and large, one of my biggest inspirations was, a lot of shows where the characters are kind of just jerks to each other, primarily. So shows like Billy and Mandy and Cartoon Network's Villainous, one of the more recent examples. I have a friend who actually worked on that show, and she kind of gave me some tips on just kind of how to write characters who absolutely hate each other, but also kind of love each other at the same time. They enjoy each other's company, but they won't say it.
Actually,
and that's kind of where everyone's dynamics kind of came from, with the exception of a few as things sort of start to develop, because I wanted this to feel a little different than just the typical Sonic Twitter takeover. Those have those are fun little standalone things, but you can kind of tell that there's no real canonicity between anything, really. I wanted this to kind of feel like this is a Q&A that's happening in universe. Like they actually took the time to do this in between everything that they're doing, and they make callbacks to certain events within their respective universes. They kind of roast each other about things, and they slowly develop their friendships as things move forward. So I wanted this to kind of feel as authentic as possible.
If I can interrupt real quick, like you talk about how you want this to feel like it has a sense of being in canon with the movie. Now that just gives me this mental image of like during the movie proper, there's gonna be a scene where Eggman's gonna be all like, "All right, now before I do anything, I'm gonna gather all of you together to put together this Q&A session. Trust me, it'll be fabulous."
pretty much, basically. So Eggman is just an absolute egotist. He will any chance he can to talk about himself, he will find it. So obviously he's got all these people he's pretty proud he kidnapped from their respective homes. So he's like, okay, now that I got you all here, why don't we all just sit around and talk about how excellent I am? Just gloat about it. And obviously,
It's a very thing to do, yeah.
and obviously, some characters like Sarah don't necessarily have a choice in that matter.
Nope.
Not at all whatsoever. So I mean, so Sydney, I guess want to talk about kind of, because I think you were one of the first people to actually ever email auditions about this project, and just kind of how you found it, because you didn't really start off in voice acting at all.
Right. Yeah. It was kind of, long story short. I was like kind of at a low point, and I was like, you know what? I need to change things around. I need to pursue dreams. And I hadn't really gotten started on voice acting. I had people had talked to me about it, but I just never started. So when this project came out, when I saw the casting call on Facebook, I was like, I have to get in on this. So I grabbed my best friend and I just rehearsed my auditions and then sent them in. I was like, I have to get in. If I have to try, or else I'll regret it for the rest of my life. And then after that, like once I got in, after much screaming ensued, I went. It snowballed from there, and I started taking more classes on audio production. I bought my own equipment, and here we are. So this project has really like changed a lot for me. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
So
Honestly, like
It's my favorite thing to see people follow their dreams, honestly.
Yeah, that was that's literally the backbone of this entire thing. It was just sort of so it was at a point where I'd applied for Cal Arts. You know that animation college that people like to dig on because supposedly
Yeah.
every artist that comes out of there has supposedly the same
Mean
style.
Mouth.
When in actuality, if you look at the
That's bull, and
student
you know it.
films, if you actually look at the student films there, every single one of them is so unique and everyone has a completely different style. The only reason the style that you see on Cartoon Network and a lot of that stuff, the only reason that exists is because studios kind of ask of it for the sake of brand identity,
word,
essentially. Yeah,
Like I
it's
said,
cheaper.
go to work.
It's easier to it's easier to make, and in all honesty, it helps the animators out a lot. Just simplifying their forms and their shapes for the sake of telling a better story overall, because that's the end of the day, that's all that matters. If you can tell a good story or you can make somebody laugh, that's really all that really matters. And be as expressive as possible, obviously, because it's animation. But bottom line, I was trying to get into that school, and I got rejected. Oh yeah.
There I was, surrounded by Sonic and his cronies.
Yeah, so
Sorry to hear that.
Blown to smithereens.
Yeah, it's okay. I got rejected. It was a really just depressing day. My dad was actually the one that kind of told me, like, yeah, check your email. I think you might want to see this. And I was just kind of in my feelings for a little bit, and then I was just kind of like, well, obviously I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to wait for the animation industry to come to me. I might as well just make something that I'm really passionate about right now. I might as well just make something, make a show, make a movie, make anything that will make your heart happy for as long as you possibly can before you get picked up for anything.
That's an
and
that's
this
an
was like-
insanely good mindset.
And that's where this came from. That's exactly where this came from. I was just like, okay, I love this franchise to pieces. I've been a part of this community forever, and they're constantly fighting over everything. I kind of just want to make something that's just kind of like, yeah, okay, obviously, white. Yeah, Rosie is again. Yeah, I know you're.
It's your question.
Rosie, best girl.
Tia, if you're watching this, again, we absolutely love you.
I was like, I was
even-
very surprised. I'm not too familiar with Tia's work, but I was surprised to be on the same project with her.
Let alone being the little runt.
Same
that
here.
Makes my life a living hell.
Yeah.
She's my teammate. I'm so excited.
I'm so surprised that you actually got somebody from Funimation to be a part of this project.
Well,
I thought
yeah.
they would
So
never
to
change
that,
into the
so to
sword.
that
away.
to that point, I had again, Tia's a Sonic fan, just like any one of us. She's just as much of a nerd as anybody, and she had, she sent me an email showing off her Rosie and Fiona impressions, and she was so good. I didn't know her name at the time because she had gone under a code name or a pen name. The only reason people do that is so if you're a high-profile actor, your fans are gonna bombard you the moment they see your name in their DMs or something.
And they're gonna, they're gonna want to just like hire you just to hire you. And
Completely
it's like,
understandable.
even if your voice doesn't work, I guess in that regard.
Yeah, and
makes sense.
overall, it's just a good business thing in general, just to kind of keep it low key until the project is revealed, and then you can be like, "Hi, I voiced this person." So I had no idea who she was at the time, and I didn't really even watched a lot of anime at that point. Then like a year or so later, I was at a con, and I was just walking around. I never actually got to talk to her there, but I recognized her voice somewhere off in the corner, and I was like, wait a minute, that voice. And then I turned over, and then I saw that name. It was like Tia Ballard, and then that voice of this 34-year-old woman, or this 33-year-old woman at the time, doing this amazing child-like kitty cat voice, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I looked her up, and then I looked back at the reels, and I was like, well, no wonder that audition was so good, because she's been doing this for like 2 decades. So, but yeah, I'm incredibly happy to have her. The best Rosie I could have chosen. There were a lot of similar sounding ones, but Tia just has an energy about her, and she's such a sweetheart. I could not have been happier to have her on board.
Yeah. Apologies to one of my friends, Coca, who also has
Hello?
unlike.
Hey, Oscar.
Hello. It's me. It's Oscar, guys.
How do you do?
Hello.
I'm currently thinking I should do this through my phone. I'm actually rethinking this. I'm gonna go through my laptop and not my phone. So see you in a.
See you later.
See you in a minute.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
For those of you who don't know who just joined, that's Osguy, one of our composers for the film. We're doing this through a Discord call. Literally anybody can jump in at any point. But by and large, this is just us just riffing and just having fun talking about the process. So, okay, so at least where I'm at, we're at the question where. Go on ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I apologize to my friend Coca, who I've also done some voiceover work with. She might be familiar with you guys. She's also did Rascal for like one other project bent in the past.
Okay, well, yeah. So I mean, there were so many auditions for Rosie, and all of them were absolutely amazing in their own right. But Tia's just had just again, it was just some people just naturally capture the energy of the characters that they audition for or that they want really badly. Tia, I think I could just tell. There was just.
I just love the way that's edited.
Yeah.
Yeah, the editing on this was just really fun. So much inspiration from so many various sources came to make this thing what it was. I think by and large, I was looking at again the Cartoon Network show Villainous by Alan Tutorial. He had done before the series was picked up officially by Cartoon Network. I guess they had commissioned him to do a series of little shorts or little Q&As featuring the characters, and they were just kind of, it was just kind of like this, where they were just kind of in universe, just answering these questions, and just the insanity that ensued was just so fun and so funny to me that I was just like, okay, I have to do something like this. This is too good of a way of getting people into who these characters are. And I think it paid off immensely. The fan art that's come from this alone has just been so mind-boggling. It's just my heart.
Yeah.
My heart. It's
Dude, even for me, it's
so
like
sweet.
it's just because this is my very first voiceover role ever, and like just this positive reception has been like so heartwarming, and I'm like, I gotta keep doing this stuff. I have to keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
in
so
my
happy.
case, I've gotten a lot of flack over some drama.
Uh-oh.
There was a lot of people thinking that I'm not cut out as a voice actor.
Okay, I'm finally back.
But the positive.
Hello.
I'm not working with the doctor.
Yeah, I think, you know, overall, I would hope that this whole thing has just been incredibly fun. I think at the end of the day, that's what this all is. It's just these characters that we have no ownership over, and telling a fun story. Just telling a story that celebrates how crazy.
Okay,
I think it's probably gonna like it too, honestly.
Yeah, and what's going on is just us looking at all of the Sonic the Hedgehog discourse, hold for laugh,
pretty much.
and just looking at all of these disparate continuities, and basically deciding to make like Rooster Teeth and just shove them all together into one giant thing. We're doing with Sonic Continuity. We are doing with Sonic Continuities what Monty did with Fairy Tales. That's the whole shebang.
A really good comparison.
I'm a frog.
So it's Ruby.
And speaking of fairy tale, we just like to remind you that Tia also voiced Happy.
Exactly.
So we have Happy with us in our
So
cast.
to our point,
Ooh.
Sonic Villains is part fairy tale fan fiction in and of itself. It is also part My Hero Academia fan fiction somehow. It's kind of, I guess in a way, every fandom wins. This is everybody's fan fiction.
Yes, because people see Sonic fans as small and helpless. They see them as just a child.
Pretty much.
Surprise when they find out that a fan film will soon run
We've
wild.
taken all of your fandoms and we've combined them into the ultimate fandom.
Yes!
The RG
Dude, Tails Gets Trolled has nothing on this. This is even better than freaking Marvel, even better than DC. Even better than...
Okay, hold on.
That's bold.
This is the crossover of the millennium.
I'm the legendary Super Saiyan, Son Ick the Hedgehog.
Oh Lord!
Oh boy, here we go. See, well, I mean, speaking of, again, just embracing the fandom and its craziness. Part of the reason I wanted Sonic.exe here was because I was like, okay, we have all these continuities that are actually
you had no choice.
canon. I had no choice. He literally held me by the throat, and he was just
It was
he just kind of
obligation.
he literally threatened to murder my family if I didn't. But to that point, you know, he had a smart idea where it was just like, okay, well, the fandom has a lot of creations of its own that I've admired over the years, and without them, I probably wouldn't even have the courage to do this. So
I've had a few fan characters of my own.
Exactly. I think everybody does, or almost everybody does, in some way or another. And I wanted, but yeah, with .exe, I just wanted to embrace that.
Yes, yes.
I was thinking of Nazo. I was thinking of Nazo initially, but then I was like, oh no, Chakra X is doing his own thing with him. I don't want to step on his toes while he's already working on another fan film for him. And he's his creator, so I don't want to step on that.
And also,
Sonic.exe, he's kind of free reign at this point.
He is.
Oh God, I got.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Oh no, I got an ad.
Well,
This ad is brought to you by Industries.
Wait, Mary, are you not watching the stream like we are?
Did any?
Oh no, I'm watching.
On the topic of Sonic characters singing, does anyone remember that moment in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where Jason Griffith was voicing Atticus, and they had him sing a song for Alexis?
Oh my God! I
saw some clips of Jason Griffith doing like voiceover work for him, but I don't remember him singing.
I think I remember that very,
I'm not
very
familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh.
And Alexis, remember, your brother's always here. And one of the YouTube comments was like, "You'd think Sonic would be a better singer."
I mean, we heard him. We heard Sonic himself singing in the national anthem of the United States. So,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
didn't have
that
much
was
faith to begin
golden.
with.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Why do you have to go and remind me of that 4Kids national anthem? Why did you have to do it?
Again, my headcanon is that everybody. My headcanon is that everybody. It's all canon. That particular time when they all came together, that was canon. They all just kind of crossed dimension and were like, I'm feeling really patriotic about America for some reason. I don't even and so they just kind of came together and just wanted to celebrate just for the sake of it. So in my mind, that's all canon.
Yeah, they just came together right now over America. Also, to bring Ruby back for a little bit, if you look at the Sonic Twitter takeover thumbnail, it's literally just Ruby Volume 1. Like, look at that. Look at the way the
characters.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
The way the characters are lined up. Well, yeah, because that's a classic. That's a classic visual lineup thing. I was thinking of doing the same.
if you replace Sonic with Silver, it would literally be Ruby because you'd have red,
That's
white,
true.
black, yellow.
That's true. That is really true. But yeah, that's like kind of visual. And I was thinking of doing that too, just leaving the thumbnail as it was. But I was like, no, I have to go higher. I need more. I need something with more pizzazz. So that's where that kind of came about.
Yeah, just getting higher.
Well, some of you.
Oh, well, so actually, I want to go back to some of the fan questions that they've been asking. Let's see here.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see here. So I guess to everyone, I guess we can kind of popcorn in the order of kind of where our icons were situated. What was the best part of making this Q&A? What were you guys' favorite, I guess, bits to voice or to see come into fruition, whether we've seen it already or not?
Pardon me 1 second. Remind me where I am because I'm not so sure if the icon organization is the same for everyone.
I'm talking about where that little art that I put up before we started this.
Okay.
In that order. So Sydney, you can go first if you have a favorite part of voicing this for this Q&A.
You can't just invite robots to a
Yeah, I would say I love playing ditzy characters. And so getting to play this mind-controlled Sarah, where she's basically any brain cells that were left are gone. So playing this ditzy character, just being super giggly and bubbly the whole time was so much fun. I had way too much fun recording for it.
And initially we didn't even that wasn't even kind of where the direction was. Before this I was so divided on like, okay, should she be really robotic or should she like actually have a little bit of a personality to her, because I kept thinking of like how like on the level of how funny and how serious should we make this. And Sarah herself isn't necessarily, she's kind of jokey overall. She's nowhere near as serious as everybody else, and she's not even really supposed to be here. So it's like, oh, let's just have fun with it. Let's just say that she just becomes really ditzy, almost Valley Girl type character, just absolutely in love with this horrible man who for most of her time she's been trying to get away from.
And you look into your mind, and the only message it's going to print out is like, ice and water, steak and cow, eat winter this year and last year.
Yes.
Oh man, I wonder what she's thinking.
No, the entire thing of her mind is just running. It's like in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, where like Android 18 is just going, kill Son Goku, kill Son Goku. But
yeah, just no thoughts, head empty.
It's just it's the lyrics to look alike, because as far as her mind is concerned, she's literally a look-alike.
At this point, yeah, that's all she thinks about. And I figured like Rosie and Sarah, it felt really weird to me to only have, it felt kind of bad to only have two girls within the squad and have none of them and neither of them interact. It just didn't feel right to me. So I was just kind of like, what if they're friends? What if they become besties? Sarah in one way, Sarah in one way is kind of out of her mind, and Rosie is already naturally out of her mind. So just kind of put them together and see what
the test that is far harder than putting all these disparate fandoms together. There's one test harder than any of that, and that is the Bechdel test. Like if we fail the Bechdel test, this was all for nothing.
Boy, we're gonna bring out that old system again. No,
the Bechdel test.
But no, it honestly,
this much women. There's gonna be this much minorities. We don't want.
Well, no, overall, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right overall. So I just figured, like, you know what? Let's have them. Why not just have them be agents of chaos together? Let them steal a rocket together.
Without a little extra kinetic force. You see, whenever I get stuck in a jam, say like back when I unleashed the first death egg, I get a running start, then swing my body fat back and forth to boost my acceleration until I'm in the clear. Huh?
Very resourceful, Doctor.
Hey, when you got it, flaunt it, baby.
The way you organics strive to make use of your limited meat sack bodies is both beautiful and nightmarishly terrifying.
Jealous?
I don't know.
Here's one I think we can all answer. At Battle Plays asks, what are everyone's reasons?
But so I guess we're at the kind of the point where we're starting to build the plot. We're at a point where we're kind of starting to build a little bit of a plot. Things are starting to kind of have their twists and turns. Another one of the things I wanted for this Q&A was just to kind of give a sense of continuity of things evolving, because I think with writers there's always the first act. You'll have an idea what the first act is. You have an idea what the third act is. The second act is always the hardest thing to write because that's the middle portion, and the middle portion can get really boring because that's when you kind of realize, like, okay, the writer here is kind of falling into a bit of a pattern. And I needed to kind of shake things up, and I was like, okay, well, why don't we just have .exe slowly kind of make his way in and kind of just make it a little creepy, and then just kind of have, Fleetway Sonic off in the corner, just kind of building up his stress over the situation of being kidnapped, so that eventually, he'd kind of let his Hulk moment surface.
Yep.
So he it just felt like a nice way of kind of raising stakes for something that wouldn't normally even have stakes. I think overall that just kind of made it a little more exciting. And all the callbacks and all the little references, these end cards that I've been doing. I was so inspired by the end cards. I was so inspired by like Gurren Lagann, Tengen Top and Gurren Lagann, old school anime, and they used to always have these little cards that would play during commercial breaks, and I just kind of saw them all together.
I think they still have them.
Yeah, they do. If you watch My Hero Academia, they still have a little card where it goes like, and like the logo comes to life or something like.
It's a pretty common like anime thing. Just kind of signaling we'll be right back after these messages. A lot of American cartoons don't necessarily do that, but I thought that was such a stylish, cool little thing.
They do that for syndication. They do that for syndicated cartoons back in the 90s and I think the 80s and 90s with the whole like, we'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah.
When the commercial's over, like, and now back.
Then we'll be right back. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog even had that. They had little cards like that too, that have just recently resurfaced. But I thought that was just a really cool thing to do, and to kind of help give a visual for all the craziness that's happening here.
Yeah, and like American anime doesn't do that. Ruby doesn't do that. Genlock doesn't do that. I don't know if Avatar did that.
To be fair, a lot of what you've listed those are internet cartoons. A lot of those are internet anime, so it makes sense. They wouldn't really need to. Never mind the fact that there's no way of knowing when you'll get an ad all the time. Sometimes you can decipher where you want to place them, but you really never know. So that would be a little haphazardous. So I just wanted to do them just for the sake of flavor, just to have fun. And I'm glad people have taken a loving to them.
Shall we talk about the music for this project?
Oh yeah, I mean, Oz Guy's obviously one of our composers. He's done a good couple of tracks already. Gabe is also.
none of them are in this.
None of them are in
should-
this particularly because this is just this is just a little audio recording. I knew it didn't require a whole lot of music, and I just kind of wanted to let the characters just kind of be the spotlight of everything. And the main theme that you're hearing from the By Myself, he's a rapper that I had contacted with pretty early on in the project. He provided paid for some instrumentals and applied some vocals of his own for that main theme. And that's what you've been hearing throughout most of the little breaks in between questions and the main theme at the start. But yeah, the music, we have a lot of composers, and a lot of the reasons for that is just because Sonic as a franchise has there's so much flavor to the kinds of music you're gonna get. It felt kind of weird to me to be like, okay, we're only gonna have this kind of sound. Well, every character in a way kind of has their own sound, so it to kind of be as versatile as possible, it just felt like it made more sense.
Yeah, the adventure games really are a testament to that, because every character has like a whole different genre of music.
Oh yeah. No one character really sounds 100% alike, and even characters that share similarities, like Sonic and Shadow, there's even some differences in the tones that they carry. So I figured, like, okay, well, let's have a number of people, and back to the point of songs and characters singing.
I've mostly been doing is taking a look at Sonic songs and trying to rearrange them. And like, everyone knows like His World, Live and Learn, Endless Possibility. Everyone knows those. But my gut feeling was to go for the deep cuts. Like I've arranged Team Rose's theme from Sonic Heroes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just the things that people don't necessarily think about, because this project in itself is kind of a deep cut. There are a lot of characters here that nobody ever thought they'd see again. And Nagas, who the heck is Nagas? Most people barely even remember him from that one episode of Sad AM he was in. So this whole thing is kind of deep cuts.
I think those people should just be thankful we're not bringing Jeffrey back.
Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, let's not open that can of worms.
That is one stinky can of worms.
No, we'll open it, but we'll open it with fire because we're going to burn it. We're going to burn the can.
Don't do that. You'll burn the whole. Don't do that. You'll burn the thing down. I just painted it.
You know what happens when you ignite gum fumes? It gets worse.
Fire.
So like, I'm thinking maybe we can get some stuff from like Shadow the Hedgehog, or and
literally anything and everything is on the table here.
Yeah,
that's my mindset for this whole thing.
We should do like Sonic Underground. We should have a look through the ridiculous, like there's so much cheese in Underground, and we need to figure out a trio of singers to do them. Also, we need to figure out who's gonna
we need to find somebody that sounds sort of like Sonic, but kind of also sounds like Double D from Ed, Edd and Eddy to do the vocals. very briefly.
If I had to pick somebody to voice all three singers of the accursed Sonic Underground band, I would go with Nate Wants to Battle for Sonic, Casey Lee Williams for Sonya, and then for Manic, I'd go Caleb Hiles, because
not bad.
Like
that's actually not bad. But yeah, to the point of characters of singing, we're long past that question, but the characters, me, Trev, and Tia singing back there, it was such a challenge. I knew I wanted to do it because Trevor had already, during one of his recordings early on, with like one of the first acts of the script, he had just randomly sung some Steven Universe, just kind of out of the blue, just randomly, and I thought that was just so funny and just so cute that I added Orbot to his singing as Qbot, and we just kind of made a little track, and I was like, I have to find a way to do more of this because I love little musical elements like that. And I figured like, well, no, we're a movie about villains, and what are the most iconic parts about villains in a lot of animated movies anyway is when they have songs. So I mean, no spoilers or anything, but we do indeed have someone writing a song for us. Not everybody's gonna sing, but Rosie and Sarah might.
You look at Disney, you've got Be Prepared, you've got
of course the classics.
Unfortunate Souls. You've got Playing with the Big Boys in DreamWorks, and even in Ruby, even though it's not a musical, they made a villain song called. They actually made a villain song called Hero, and they got Caleb Piles to sing it, which is just incredible. Like
I'm gonna have to like listen to more of their work because I'll hold you to that. Just to kind of I don't know if we'll ever get the underground to actually sing anything, but that's an idea to kind of I'll hold on to that.
Question.
Sure.
Question. If we have anybody that's going to be voicing Sonya, will she still be sounding like how Jaleel White made her sound?
I mean,
do this. How does this work? Do I sound like Sonya?
Well, to that point,
literally all you have to do to sound like Sonya. They didn't even try.
Well, to your point, we do have Sonya with us. Actually.
Hi guys.
Yes.
So the idea initially was like, okay, I might just have to voice all three of them if they ever do show up, but because I mean, obviously, if anybody can do a Steve Urkel, but then I heard Sydney do her rendition of Sonya, and it was just like that's probably the best we're ever gonna get because one, it's actually we actually have a woman voicing this time around, but at the same time she was able to just hit that register so perfectly that I was just like, okay, this is perfect. I couldn't ask for anybody else any better for a role like that.
Hey now, take a chill pill there, Blue. Can't have you turning piss yellow and wrecking shop just yet, now can we? You just sit tight and enjoy the rest of the questionnaire with us, okay? Take care, Tommy!
I gotta say my favorite part of this whole thing.
All right.
I gotta say my favorite.
I'm back.
It's coming up soon, but you're gonna have like Grounder and Cubot going like all sorts of crazy when they're being possessed. And the most fun thing I did to record, the fun part I loved to record was singing. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Yeah. So I mean, to everybody who was wondering,
it's literally Spaceballs.
To everybody who was wondering, to everyone in the fan server and beyond who were wondering, like, okay, what are they singing backwards? It's "Hello, My Baby" from Michigan J Frog from Looney Tunes.
Can't beat the classics.
I just figured like,
and I just said it to him like I think I recorded it forward and you made it go backward.
Yeah, yes, you and Trevor, I've reversed just because I kept thinking back like, okay, what's a common horror trope? A common horror trope usually ends up being like there'll be a show tune playing in the background and it'll play normally, but it's kind of distorted. It's a little messy, but then things kind of get more and more demented, and then they start playing it backwards. It's like there's something about old-timey music being played backwards or all over the place and just kind of being utterly distorted. It's a classic creepy horror trope. So I was just like, okay, we need to do this. And I didn't have any Sonic songs that I wanted necessarily that were really funny to me. I was thinking of having it be Lazy Days, Bick the Cat's theme song from Sonic Adventure. But I was just like, no, let's just have it be an old show tune. So Looney Tunes was the first thing that popped into my head when it came to that.
Yeah, and I enjoyed doing that line. I enjoyed doing that. It was so hilarious, and I was absolutely busting my gut hearing the result near the end.
Yeah,
another favorite part we just passed was Sarah and Rosie commandeering a rocket.
Yes, my favorite. Personally, one of my favorite bits to write. Rosie and Sarah were honestly, I love writing everybody here. Eggman, Sarah, and Rosie were probably my favorites, if only because their dynamics and their personalities were probably the clearest. Scourge is probably the next second, because I think going in it was hard figuring out, like, okay, we have like 14 people here. What elements of their personalities and of their dynamics should I highlight that will make for an entertaining show overall? And the thing about Scourge is that he's such a jerk. I just figured, like, okay, well, let's just pair him with the one person he's actually terrified of, and just kind of see how he kind of loses his mind a bit here. How he's constantly getting comeuppance. You know, bad things happen to bad people, and Scourge is a bad person amongst bad people. So it only made sense. Like, okay, just put him through the ringer. Just make him suffer throughout this whole thing.
Okay, I think something else we need to bring up that I don't think has been brought up. Sonic the comic is in this also. Fleetway.
Yes. And I wanted to. And I wanted. Yeah.
Oh,
great, the video broke.
Yeah, so the thing is that... So anyway...
It's a great effect.
So the idea of bringing Sonic the comic back, I actually thought, hey, I want to voice one of the characters, but there's this problem. I would have to do it in a British accent. And despite me living in Australia, as my screen name implies, it's actually not that easy. Like, let me try that right
There are
now.
little subtle differences that most people don't realize.
All right, love, give me a chip, buddy, and London, and God save the Queen, all right? You know what I mean? All right, do you listen to Blur or Oasis or something?
Oh God, everybody's gonna do a British accent now. This is gonna be horrible.
Biblical. It's gonna be biblical Russian.
Crumpets. I'm not good with accents.
Hello, this is 2D from Gorillas. Hello.
Oi, shut your mouth! I hit you in the other eyes.
But yeah, so
mate. Oi, mate. Anyone remember that time?
Oh,
Anyone
hold on,
remember that?
Going.
what have we done?
What haven't we done? We're the British. We've done everything.
So all the British people in the audience, I greatly apologize for how us Americans and Australians are utterly butchering any semblance of your language, of your accent. I'm sorry.
Oi, mate, you claim you're a true Oasis fan. Have you
Oh,
got any
no.
B-sides? Have you got the B-sides? Have you got the master plan? Do you know how Acquiesce
Going
goes?
so well. Going so well.
I think I'd like to take this moment to personally apologize to any of our British listeners for my portrayal of Sonic the comic, because obviously I'm very American.
So we had a few people that were kind of against Fleetway Sonic having a British accent. For me personally, it was just kind of a way of differentiating him between the other Sonics, and overall, it was just a matter of like, okay, you know, mainline Sonic is Roger Craig Smith, so we need to find, and Scourge is over here just kind of doing his own thing, but we need something that kind of differentiates him from everybody else and so obviously it's a British comic. It just kind of made sense to make him British.
I've got the Supreme. All right, this is it. With this, Sonic fan content will truly be prepped for British audiences. This is such a horrible idea, but
I think by and large, I got the Sonic the Comic people, the people running the now unofficially official Sonic the Comic online webcomic. They loved it. They personally enjoyed it, and that right there was enough validation for me. I was like, okay, I made the right decision, as controversial as it might have been. It made them happy, and I think that's good enough.
Okay, this is
great choice,
the worst
personally.
idea ever, but here we go. Hang on, what am I trying to? Sorry, I'm still trying to sort everything out in my head. All right, lads, here's the long and the short of it. Shadow the Hedgehog's a right tosser. He gallivanted with my wife.
Oh, God.
There's no
There we go.
way.
He gallivanted
You had to
with
get that
my
in there
wife.
somewhere.
And he said his chip body was this big. And I said, that's a right load of... So
Alfred
I'm-
Coleman, we love you.
So I'm making a personal ad in the Daily Mail or something. Shut up! I have no idea what British slang. Oh, wait.
You got. I mean,
Shadow
you
the Hedgehog.
got it down pat.
Shadow the Hedgehog. You're a balmy get. Your brain's the size of this walnut. So guess what? Here's what my...
That's it.
That's it. That's enough. This is enough. You're taking it too far.
Okay, Ozguy.
How do you like that, Baba?
How do you like-
MP3.
It had to happen. It was going to happen eventually. Either I was going to do it or somebody else was going to do it. Either way.
Shut up, Boris Johnson. I'm pissed on the moon. And it works because Boris Johnson is actually legitimately an idiot.
This is what you guys tune in for commentaries, right? This is what you tune in for commentaries for.
I'm actually gonna have to
I
record
can't believe
this.
I can't believe I got dissed by this Eggman. I mean,
I can't believe I've done this.
He gets me from the grave.
What
No,
are we-
sir, I can't.
How do you
Science is-
like that, Gallagher? I've actually got to start writing this, and I'm gonna have to record it. Oh my!
Oh,
Do it.
You know what? When you do it, let us know. So, but back to what we should probably be talking about. Let's bring up some more questions. Hold on. Just doing wonderful.
Oh, that does slap me on the knee right there.
And this is going to be a lot less dirty than it.
It can be as dirty as you want it, because if it's in British English, most Americans won't understand it.
Yeah, but we're going to make it as kid-friendly as possible.
Oh.
This is a blood. I'm still laughing. I'm still laughing.
This is
Laugh your little heart out, man.
This is wonderful. This is exactly why I brought you all here. So you can all be absolute fools.
Okay, so let's see here.
We have to do something. You're right, Orbot. Not only a Tweedledee and Tweedledum acting up.
Oh, and one other part I find hilarious.
Q&A on a high note, so it looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
we got everything under control.
Is Sarah popping up in the pop? But I think it's sort of like with the. Excuse me, Lord, I've done this, but I think the answer to that joke is Joe Mama. Shadow's reaction.
Can we get a Joe Mama?
Oh, Joe Mama.
Joe Mama.
Joe
The
Mama.
way
Hey, yo, Joe Mama.
that question literally only exists just to kind of show that Shadow is kind of out of his depth. Boom Shadow especially. He lives in a cave. He doesn't understand any of this.
Of course.
So you know he's kind of the boomer of the group, next to Naugus, who's just against any and all technology whatsoever.
What is this World Wide Web? And how can I even put some magic into it?
And I'm sure glad nothing bad ever
Have at thee, sir, computer!
many participants who haven't gotten their questions.
What kind of witchcraft is this 4chan?
Oh no.
Robots
Okay.
are kind of losing it.
What kind
Another
of
robot
witchcraft is
losing it at this
this
point.
Part of this British stuff is just me quoting. I just made a reference to Blur, like before they did song 2. Like, has anyone listened to Blur before they did song 2?
I only know song 2. That's it.
I only know
No,
about
but I
Blur because
did
of
actually
Gorillaz.
play.
It's not their
Damon
second
Albarn,
song. What a bunch of posers!
I actually did play something from, was it Damon Albarn's old side project, The Good, the Bad, and the Queen, back when I was on WSIA 88.9 FM. Stand up.
Dang, you were on radio? Wow.
Yeah, I've actually done I've done radio in college, and I still do it on my comedy show, A-Log on the Airwaves, every Saturday on madmusic.com and archive.org. Check it out.
Well, there you
Back
go.
down
There you
40s,
go.
coming up on the
Shameless
26th.
If I make if I drop an S-bomb in this chicanery, is that going to be too far?
I mean,
It is.
Scourge has been swearing like a sailor with bumpers surrounding him this whole time, so might as well go nuts.
Oh, the
all
bumpers,
out.
swearing with bumpers. With the bumpers is the bleeps, that's all.
Alright, I'm just gonna...
Why don't you ask your
There's
green
just...
highness that
I'm looking through Britpop and, like, trying to find good...
entertaining answer?
I like how Fleetway Sonic has just opened up a complete and total British rabbit hole that we've just been digging the entire time.
British Eggman.
Tantrum, haven't I?
Again, to the Sonic the Comic guys, if you're watching this, and I know you probably will, because I'll probably share it with you guys. Disclaimer: apologies. You can you can put me up. You can put me up on a stake later.
Perhaps I could be able to serenade them my Lone John Barry impression.
Press F for all these characters.
Yeah, everybody's dead. Yeah, everybody died. I honestly couldn't think of a way to end it in a way that was satisfying. So I was just kind of like, well, let's just go all Sonic.exe on it and let's just kill everybody. Let's just murder everyone. That's the only satisfying way. And it's a nice way of saying.
Oh yeah, what's going on with the art on the left? Is that like an editing error? Where it keeps popping up?
Started off as an editing error, but then I just leaned into it. And then after a while, it was just kind of like, okay, this works considering how glitchy everything is already.
Oh, okay.
So I might as well just lean into it. It was an error.
Oh, here it goes.
Fleetway Supersonic hurts bad. The most strenuous voice I think I've ever done because it's so high. It messes with my vocal cords like crazy.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't have the guy that's voicing regular Fleetway to voice this.
I thought about that. I like Logan. Yeah, I thought about that too. But then I was like, no, I don't want to put him through this much pain. So I'll do it. I don't want to put him through the pain.
To my own detriment here,
So-
I do not mind pain. I am somewhat of a method actor, but I do honestly like that it's a completely different voice because in the context of the comic, they are two separate personalities.
They treat
at
each
one
other
point
as
they got
separate
separated into two distinct beings, so
They do
I think
genuinely
that makes more
treat.
sense.
Again, it's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing where they don't really like each other at all, and when they
Also, the more
separate, it's just like they
contact,
want to be as they want to be as far away from each other as possible. So giving them a different voice, I think, kind of helped sell that. But to the point of screaming, any moment where we got to scream together was probably one of my favorite things because it was just the funniest thing to edit for me. Because it was like, apparently a rule of acting that I'm a novice on directing any actors at all whatsoever. having actors scream is like the quickest way to get them to hate you. So, unfortunately for me, I like when characters scream a lot.
So this is quickly evolving into an entire riff on the Blur song Park Life. If
oh my god! Wow.
Or
You know what? I guess it kind of.
you should probably search that up just to get yourselves ready for it. While I try and.
I actually didn't think about it that way, but.
On the subject of screaming, though, am I the odd one out here because I absolutely love screaming?
Yeah, me too.
I do too.
Well, time to recast Freeway Super.
Yeah, I was so worried that whenever I got anybody to, whenever it said in the script for anybody to scream, I was so worried that it was like everybody's just gonna blow their voices out. Like as fun as it is, and the thing is, it was always hard balancing everybody's lines, balancing everybody's like vocals, because obviously Sydney and Tia would be the highest ones there, but everybody else just kind of when you put all of us together, it sounds like we're like one giant machine or something, just together. So it was so hard on the ears, but hopefully it's not hard on anybody else's. Because I feel like I don't think I can hear anymore.
So this is the most research I've ever done in the past month, is just looking for British slang.
Going down a
rabbit hole continues. The rabbit hole continues.
Right, so now I'm trying to, and there's no swear words in, aside from the obvious ones that make this. Like, what? Okay, sling your hook apparently means go away. So I'm going to.
This is the exact problem that I think the Spider-Verse writers they had a commentary like this too, and they were talking about finding like 30 slang for noir Spider-Man, and a lot of it was unintentionally a little not safe for work, but they didn't know it until like after they put it in. So now there's just like a lot of dirty.
And in Spider-Verse, there's a song that goes, "She wanna ride me like a cruise," and I'm like, and looking back on it, that is so wrong. Oh my.
Well, what if I was a boat? And what if I'm sailing to the Caribbean? Like, well,
see.
I think it makes it more authentic.
It's totally clean. So totally clean.
A slip up like that. That's just the kind of music that Miles will listen to without thinking much of it.
Exactly.
How's that whole like 23 to do?
I'm trying to think of something to put in place of the moon. Help me out here.
Big Ben.
Yeah, I've already got that as.
That's tall.
But a giant bum in the sky.
I'm
a bit too obvious, I guess.
Big Ben, and then instead of the Earth, it's gonna be Buckingham
Palace.
A croissant. A giant croissant.
So thank you for joining us on this hour-long discussion.
Okay.
I mean,
thank you for joining us in this madness.
Thank you for joining us in this mess. We might have I might have a little more to say afterwards, just answering you guys' questions and just again just talking with these guys about the process behind everything.
It actually
we kind of derailed a little bit. You know?
Maybe I had fun. It was a good time.
I think I've got it. Who wants to? All right, here we go. You please prepare yourselves.
Okay, go.
To quote the Lego movie, cover your butt. Here we go. All right, Governor, here's the long and the short of it. Shadow the Hedgehog's a right tosser. He gallivanted with my lass. That's right. He took a route straight through what is known as park life, and he gallivanted with my lass. And he said his sense of well-being was this enormous. And I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out ad on the Daily Mail. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got brewer's drink. You get intimidated by the dirty pigeons. And guess what? Here's what my park life looks like. That's right. All confidence, no morning soup, no joggers. Look at that. It looks like I go hand in hand with all the people. He gallivanted with my he gallivanted with my wife. So guess what? I'm gonna gallivant with the earth. That's right. This is what you get. This is what you get. My super laser piss, lad. Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on Big Ben. How do you like that, Gallagher? You're 23 hours. You're 23 hours before the first drop. Let's hit Buckingham Palace. Now sling your hook before I do this. Done.
I say, what a Paddington Bear of a hullabaloo this was.
Jolly good show, man. Yes,
Well,
how many times do I have to tell you? You can't score.
Yeah.
Was beyond description. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Well,
I hope not.
Well, I'm pretty sure she was outside of the. I'm pretty sure she was outside of the house while I did that. Which makes me pretty lucky. Hello. Yes. Hello. Say hello, Mum.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm almost about to go to university, so
Someone pull the plug.
yeah. Stop it, love.
Okay, any other
Enjoy
questions?
the
Gotta go
film
through?
whenever it comes out.
So let's go back.
Before Yonder Simulator finishes development.
Yes, please. Goodness gracious. Okay, so to some more questions here. All right, to me, Toons, considering you planned Sonic villains for a while, were any plans that didn't make it into the final cut already? As things are constantly moving, and things are constantly being switched around and rewritten. There's so many versions of just the introduction scene of Sonic, Techno, and Eggman alone that I've had to go through. And all of it is just for the sake of, like, what's the most entertaining way to introduce these guys in a way that, you know, for some characters like Sonic and Eggman, you already know who they are. So there's not really any major need to go into crazy amounts of detail. But for characters like Techno and any Fleetway or any obscure side media character, that's always the hardest thing, to get you to love these people you don't even know. That's what this whole Q&A in and of itself was about. Just trying to, I hearken it to like writing a pilot for a TV show, where your whole goal is to get people to fall in love with the writing, with the way these characters interact with each other. You have to find a way to get them to, you know, it's like going on a date, basically, and trying to see just how much can you fall in love with this within this amount of time. So I think that's why those extra months were so crucial. Just so I could really figure everything out, because otherwise I don't think none of the massive response this has gotten would have been there if I had just kind of rushed it out the door just for the sake of filling an anniversary quota that I don't even need to fill. So in the end, I'm really happy with the time that was taken. I'm really happy that these guys, these crazy people, just went absolutely nuts and somehow put up with my crazy script. I'm just so happy.
Like, I feel like we have to say this again. We're all doing this out of love for the spiky blue person. We're all doing this.
Yes. And honestly, this whole thing has just been honestly really life-changing. Just thinking about this project literally every day and just kind of writing and drawing for it and just kind of figuring everything out. And there's so many people that want to be a part of it, and it's honestly made me shed a tear or two a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, just because again, I'm just, you know, this whole thing has been so scary. I think a lot of you guys will know this, but you know, last year it was terrifying for me, just realizing what I had, you know, put myself up for. I think.
I mean, it was terrifying for me too.
There was a time where I was just kind of on a lull. You guys didn't see me on Discord for like months, and it was just because I was just so scared of letting you guys down and not having everything figured out already, and just kind of not being. I guess I had this perfect idea of what a perfect director supposedly is in my head, and I just felt like I just didn't fit that. I just didn't fill that quota, and I didn't want to come back until I had whatever I deemed was substantial enough content for you guys and for the potential audience that we had.
That's kind of funny because before this I've never given music a serious composing a shot. Like this is my first project, and
relatable content.
I was wondering. I was some of the Archie villains. I was wondering on that you were originally planning. Like, I'm surprised Lee and Da hadn't made an appearance or in your thought process.
There were so many. So there were a lot of villains I cycled through. I think initially before officially announcing villains, I think it was I posted like a little post on Twitter, just kind of shouting out to the Sonic fandom, like, okay, who are your favorite villains? And I just kind of I had a couple of them in mind already, and kind of what I planned on doing for some of them. But that kind of the fan response from me asking that question just randomly out on Twitter was really helpful, because a lot of the characters that you see are a result of the answers people gave.
Interesting.
And then there were a few oddball choices that I just kind of figured, like, okay, so a lot of people said Enerjack, which if you've read Archie, you know that's just kind of Knuckles gone completely power hungry. And as fun as an idea as that is,
wait, my bad. I'll let you finish.
But yeah, I was just saying, just on as far as Enerjack goes, as fun as that would be, if you've read Sonic Universe, you'll know that in an alternate universe, he basically kills everybody and uses their bodies as husks.
I mean,
for a bunch of metal robots. So
it didn't. That's Dark Oak's thing. Like, he wants to kill everybody in the world. Bass drop. Wop wop.
It is to be fair, but Dark Oak hadn't succeeded nearly as well as Enerjack did. In Enerjack, at least in one timeline, you can say, "Oh yeah, Knuckles killed everybody," basically. So just thinking about that, I was like, okay, that maybe like on a power scaling kind of thing, that might be a bit too much, because it's not really a level. How does Eggman control that? How does Eggman even have an ounce of control over that situation, over a power hungry Knuckles? That doesn't feel. Why would he even listen to him? So I was just thinking of kind of ways like, okay, what character best represents this universe or these respective universes? How popular are they within the zeitgeist of Sonic as a whole? What interactions can they bring to the table? How fun would they be to write? And what are my own personal favorites just throughout everything? And I think I'm really happy with who we chose, because there's a lot of people who are always like, why not Nephilis? Why not this person? Why not that person? And
Sonic 06, that's why.
But that too, but also to that point, it's just what makes for an interesting story, what makes for a fun story, and a leveled playing field, or at least as leveled as possible. As you saw in the Q&A, obviously, Sonic.exe can kill everyone and then bring them back if he so chose, with Fleetway Sonic's help. But overall, even then, Sonic.exe is kind of downplayed a little. He's not really a demon. He's a virus with a god complex.
Which,
okay, guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up. We are way over. We're way over here. So I think at the end of the day, let's sign ourselves out here. If you guys want to continue talking, I have absolutely no problem with that. This whole thing has just been really fun. And I know it's been a bit overwhelming, but I think overall I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad we took the time to do this.
Same here.
Overall,
definitely.
So for the audience, thank you so much for listening to us absolutely go nuts. I'm sorry to any British people in the audience. I'm sorry to the Sonic the Comic guys in the audience. I'm sorry to anyone we may have destroyed the hearts of during our villainous rants here. But overall, we thank you so much.
No skin off my nose.
Yeah.
It's a lot of skin off mine. I mean, you see how pink my nose is? What the heck is that?
I don't know if there's much skin left there.
To be honest, I think I'm just all skin, baby. Aside from the mustache, how lovely that is. I do that every day.
Mustache.
Yes, praise my mustache. Yes, I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
Sarah, my dear, could you please help sign us off? I know it's been hard, but please help us, dear God.
You okay, Sydney?
She's so new to this whole thing.
I'll be right back to say my goodbye.
I'm sure this has just been an eye-opening experience.
Yes, it has
I'm
been.
certain. I'm sure this has just been delightful.
But yes, can you help sign us off? We're kind of way beyond schedule here.
Signing off.
Signing off. Oh, good night. Good luck. Follow your dreams. Thank you so much.
Open your heart.
Yeah, the pure-blooded Robotnik hair does not change from the day we are born, with the exception of beards and mustache.
I'm back. Sorry about the barking.
Oh, bye.
Literally just wrapping up.
All right.
I gotta go.
Right.
I'll see you guys later.
I see it, dude.
Cut the cord.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Cut the cord in a spectacular fashion.